Hello everyone! Right, we are back again with another video on the equipment dungeons this time. So, going to be talking through some of my teams, some of the tactics, and hopefully share a bit of insight on how to clear these dungeons. Now, going to be doing level 8 for most of them, alright. Well, the 3 as it were, Rot, Venom and Curse. I can do stage 9 Venom, but I can only do it if I cheese it with my Zephyr Ogok. And it's not the fastest either. So I'm going to go with stage 8 for now, but the same principles will apply. So, looking at what we've got here then. So, what do I have here? Firstly, I have Ardreth. Ardreth is my tank for this fight. Yes, I do have legendary gear, legendary artifacts, okay. Last season I used Yuri, not last season. Yeah, season 2 I used Urion as my tank for this, and I was able to clear it with Urion first time, stage 9, because of his passive. His passive where he gains Undying when he takes damage, and in doing that, it gave enough time for my healers to come back round, and then it was clear from there, as it were. But again, that was stage 9, and Theodomir with Fenia could do the same thing. For now, say I've just got Ardreth, 5-star, level 90, and she is essentially just going to be a meat shield, and once her passive goes off, we are hunky-dory. Victor! Victor is in here for me to put debuffs on. So, as you can see here, he deals damage to the entire board. If they've got buffs, he'll change 2 of them into debuffs. If an enemy has less than 2 debuffs, there is a 100% chance of additionally inflicting 2 random debuffs. So in this fight, he's just putting 2 debuffs out. Now, in an ideal world, I'd take attack penalty, and maybe recharge speed penalty, maybe. But ultimately, I'm not that bothered. I just want 2 debuffs up, okay? The reason for it is because of the change in Harpy this season, season 3. Her ultimate, she dashes through to a location and deals damage. But if the monster has 2 or less, if the boss has less than 2 debuffs, the target is changed to a random enemy rather than your tank. So she can just swoop in, pop Rose or whoever your backline is, and take him out. And that's not fun for anyone. So he's here essentially as redundancy from the debuffs point of view. Rose is in Witch's Remains. She has attack penalty and also say Witch's Remains. So she will hopefully hit the Harpy with the attack penalty and the defense down. But if she doesn't, Victor is here for that. She also has heal, which is very nice. Cinerelle is simply here for the heals, okay? That's his only job. That's the only thing we require him to do. And then Thelendor is kind of really my only dedicated damage dealer. Broken gear there. Got 2 nice pieces there. Crit rate at the top here. I'm still running a lot of epic gear because I haven't farmed Venom. Or any other dungeons for that matter. So there we go. No food on either, and we've got the defense aura given to us by Ardreth. So we're just going to sort of go for it, essentially. Now, I do have some timings on Victor and Rose and co. Essentially, just to make sure that we got the 2 debuffs on hit when the boss does her ultimate. So the boss got 2 debuffs there. Thelendor used his ultimate. Victor's not booked, so he'll only do his just before. There we are, but we've got our debuffs up. His accuracy's not majorly high either. And that is essentially this fight. So, the boss is on an 18-second rotation. Both my debuffers are slower than that at the moment, which is why we're doing it early, so then as the fight goes through, it should stay in time for at least 2 rounds. By that point, we should have killed a few of these orbs. So when she does that, there'll be no flame elements to join in with the multi-attack, so it shouldn't be too bad to deal with. So 1 orb is down at this stage. We'll just speed it back up. 2nd orb down there. And yeah, Ardress passive is triggered now as well, so everyone's got increased defense. So this is very much an easy clear at stage 8. On stage 9, again, where these guys aren't 100 yet or near perfect gear, it's a lot harder. But I say I am fortunate enough to have Argok and Zephy, so I can cheese it. And yeah, so it's going to be a fairly smooth run at stage 8. Now, if you can't do stage 9 straight away, do not worry. You still get your gold ore generally, which you can use to make your legendary pieces. I personally had around 200, 300, which I made sort of 40 odd pieces of legendary gear. Not all of it was great. I sold quite a few of it, and I'm just sort of rocking with what I've got. This should be it now. Thelendor's star beams. But there we are, and that is stage 8 cleared. What do we get? We get 4 pieces of ore, HP percent chest, that's okay. Crit rate, gloves, alright. And we'll sell the rail sword because we are beyond that now. Rightio, so now we are going to go take a step into Grave of Rot. So, Grave of Rot dungeon now, and we're back with the Frost team just because it's my stronger ones. And largely the same, we've got our Theodomir, we have Oster, we have Rosenia in our Witch's Remains, and we have Fenia to heal. But I also have Acilia here. Now, if I had VCook built, VCook would be better here for the 5-man affinity. But we don't have 5-man affinity on my server yet, so it's not the end of the world. Same principle then, we've got our 2 damage dealers. We've got Theodomir to tank. He does have attack penalty, but his accuracy is very low, so it's highly unlikely. The important thing here is Acilia. So Acilia is our cleanser. Okay, so say Vikuk can do this role, so can Gulen, so can a number of other people. This boss, he puts out poisons and healing prohibition and recharge speed penalty. So essentially we're going to time Acilia to clear all this off before the boss gobbles us up. Now we are on stage 8 here. I haven't set up any timings, I've just sort of thrown this together just a second ago. So we're going to leave Acilia off auto for a second. Second lot comes in, and then we clear it all off. Get our heals up, ready for the boss to eat someone. So another debuff that you should really probably bring outside of obviously attack penalty, defense penalty, is healing prohibition here. Okay, because when the boss eats someone, he heals. As you can see, it's going up slightly, but we're dealing the damage, so we're holding it off. Last season, even this season, to be fair, and I don't know why I'm not using it, to be fair, but Sigrid is your friend. Sigrid is an amazing rare. She has attack down and healing prohibition, so she is built for this boss right here. So we probably could have done it a fair bit quicker if I had Vikuk and Sigrid, perhaps, instead of Oster. That's my first and fastest clear for Grave of Rot stage 8. Nice and fast for us, okay. Again, I have legendary gear, I have legendary heroes, but to say the principles are the same. Attack down, defense down, and healing prohibition in an ideal world. I didn't have healing prohibition, and as you see, I still cleared it fine because I was cleaning the heal reduction and the recharge speed penalty off my guys before they got eaten, and Fenia was just hopping them up. A fairly straightforward fight, so you can just brute force stage 8. Stage 9, I'm not going to try now, but again, I think it will be like Grey the Venom for me, where it is a struggle unless I have Cheese It or something, and some okay pieces of gear. So lastly, we'll go back to Grave of Curse. So here we are in Grave of Curse, and we are back with the Fire and Radiant team. Mainly due to the mechanics of this boss. Mechanics? So, what does this guy do? So, this guy dispels all of its debuffs and gains 30% attack up and 30% damage up. His second ability, he dispels a shield from the current enemy and deals necrotic damage. We're not going to be having any shields really, so that's fine. And then his last one is he deals damage to all enemies, converting 240% damage dealt to a shield. When the hero has a buff, it ignores immortality and invincibility. So, there are some things you can do for this, okay? So he gains a shield equal to the amount of damage he does. So attack penalty is kind of a must for this fight, okay? You need buff removal, because he hits very hard, and if he has these buffs up, you've got no chance, especially if you're trying to cheese it with a Zephy. Alternatively, you can have buff prohibition before this ability goes off, so he never gets them in the first place. Third thing that is good, increased defense. Again, for the same reason that you want decrease attack, he'll do less damage, so that shield that he gains is smaller. Or lastly, you can run a Garius. Now, a lot of people have had success with a Garius on this chap with the staff because you'll gain a shield. So he doesn't actually gain when this boss does damage to shields. He doesn't actually go towards his own shield, if that makes sense. He's not doing damage to you. Now, I do not have Garius in staff. But I do have buff removal, I do have shield removal with Victor as well, and we've got our decrease attack from our Cinerelle, and our Rose, so hopefully we don't have to worry too much. Rose is also bringing recharge speed penalty, so we can turn that 18-second rotation to 20 seconds to match most of our heroes. Again, defense aura. I'm going to turn the timings off because these timings are for another dungeon, but it still works. Okay, gentlemen and ladies, I suppose, ladies and gentlemen. So we're just going to wait here. We've got our attack down, defense down. We're holding Victor's ability. So as you can see, got a bit of a shield on. So he did nothing. Oops, mistimed that completely. But he removes them on his battle skill, so again, it's not necessarily an issue. We will try and time that right in a second. So ultimate again, a little bit of a shield, because again, with our small shields and the attack down, he didn't really hit us hard enough, so we were okay. Boss goes up, Victor removes. Cinerelle is wearing the staff himself, which is where we're getting our shields from. I don't have Garius, but this is a close second. And boss goes again, and again you can see tiny, tiny shields which allow us to sort of chomp through this guy like a tasty steak sandwich. Victor, remove, replaces it with recharge speed. I was actually very disappointed in my pulls for Season 3 banner because I managed to pull 5 Victors. I used one of them for an artifact before I realised actually that he is very useful in a lot of content. So don't be too disappointed, guys and girls. If you get him, he is very useful. Pop Cinerelle is Jesus this season. He is very good for a lot of content. Obviously, Rook is going to be the Vortex King. But nice smooth run, as you're seeing here again. This is stage 8, not stage 9. I'm not sure how I'd cope on stage 9, although I think, especially if I put some levels into these guys, I'd be able to manage it just fine. And here we are. We should finish them off. There we go. And that is your equipment dungeons in. So hopefully you've picked something up from here, from this little video, and it sort of helps you to beat these dungeons yourselves. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch. Take it easy, remember, work hard, but play harder, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.